Okay, here's tip number 1 in using the Ultrabeat. I always have slight problems with hi-hat patterns, and I find that they can get very dull and very boring, and it's useful to use the Ultrabeat to create more interesting hi-hat patterns or rhythmic patterns in general. So let's have a look at how we can work with the Ultrabeat to do that. So what I'm going to do is I've created a blank pattern, and we know it's a blank pattern because there's no SQ next to it for sequenced. And I'm going to find a hi-hat noise. Okay, that will do. Go to my sequencer, and I'm just going to drag a load of hi-hats across. Now, normally that's going to sound like this. Which I'm sure you'll all agree is pretty boring. And what we could do is come down here and change the volume and the gate of each individual hit. So the volume is how loud it is, obviously. Excuse me. And the gate is how long or how short the note is. And we could randomize all of those. We could just go around and tweak them, or we can use the right click option and do things such as randomize velocity. We could also randomize the gate as well. So hopefully that you might find that, say, a 4-bar loop or an 8-bar section that you like, you could work with that and copy and paste it. Tip number 2, copying patterns. So what if we want a pattern that we've already created, but we want to mess about with it some more, change some settings, change some notes, etc. What if we want to put that on a new pattern? Well, it's very simple. So I've got F1 sequenced selected at the moment. All I do is right click, copy, go to a new pattern, right click, paste, and you can see the pattern has appeared. Okay, this is a really good one. We're going to work with dropping in some samples from some other sources. So this could be the browser in Logic, and we're also going to look at how we can use other hits from from the Ultrabeat, and also from the EXS24 sampler, and how we can utilize the thousands of sounds available in that. So first of all, let's see how we can put a drop in a sample into the Ultrabeat from the browser. So let's imagine we've got this clap here, but we don't really like it and it's a bit weak. And you might have some samples on your hard disk that you think would work much better. So you can go to your media, to your browser, and you need to find where your samples are. They could be on the desktop, for example. So I'm going to go to drum hits, and I've got some claps somewhere. We'll use there he is. So I can preview them beforehand. You can either press the button down here, or you can press space, which will trigger the sample. Okay, I quite like that first one. So I need to come back to the Ultrabeat, come out of full view, and I can now drop my sample into here. Click, drop, you see it lights up, boom, and it drops it in. And I can listen to it again. Now notice though, it's not the full clap sample, and this is because it's got an envelope on it. So rather than trying to figure out where all the settings are and what I have to move around, the quickest way around this is to right click, initialize, sample. It keeps the sample, but gets rid of all the other elements that were added on top of that previous sample. So now when I listen back, So that's one way of working with the browser, and obviously you can drop a new sample in to each one of these. There's a really useful kit called, if you come under here, drag and drop samples, which is basically 25 completely blank sample areas, so you can just stick your own sounds in. Let's go back to our Deep House kit though. And this time I want to work with a sound from another Ultrabeat. So we can't get them from the browser, so we need to get them by using this function here, import. And if you click on the import button, you can then go automatically to Ultrabeat. We want the drum kits. Gives us the huge list of them. So let's say we want something from classic techno. Double click on it, and if you watch here, hopefully, there you go. It's like a second list of drum hits that we can now work with. So I might want to, that's it, for example the claps again, click, drag them in, and then I've got the claps from that techno sound. So that's really, really handy as well. Again, I might think that bass line is better. Click, drag it in. Easy. The third way is to use the EXS24 sample packs. Now you have to kind of find these, so I'm going to click on import again, and they're located, if you click up here, I think it's plugin settings. Where are they? I knew this was going to happen. I thought they were under EXS24, but clearly they're not. So I've created a shortcut, which is to sample instruments. Yeah, it's under the main Logic folder, sorry. So application support, Logic, sampler instruments. So these are all the EXS24 sounds. So we could work with drums and percussion. We want some electronic drum kits. And again, now we've got loads to work with. So let's go with, I don't know, Paris House remix. And you can see how many samples it's loading in. And again, all you need to do is drag and drop these in. Now the good thing about these sampler packs, you see this little up arrow here? That now, if you click on it, goes to the next block of sounds. And then another one. And so on and so forth. So this really starts to open up the available sounds to us in the Ultrabeat.